with your palate cleansers. Show me what you got.
Welcome in, everybody, to a brand new episode of Audionots, your pop culture podcast. I am Eric Oldboy, online with the always debonair R-E-N, Mr. Ren. What's happening, man?
What's up?
What have you been up to?
It is hot as balls today, dude. I'm sweating. I got my towel to wipe my sweat.
Yeah, you're like an NBA 2K player.
Yeah, 2K's out. Not 2K, NBA's back.
Yeah, the NBA's back, and you're sweating like you're out there balling.
Yeah, I mean, life is good. Just don't go to Portland.
Oh, yeah. For those who listen all the time know we broadcast out of Oregon. And Portland, though, like it's one of those things where the national media makes Portland look like it's freaking Iraq. And for all those who don't live in Oregon, it's like a block and a half radius around the federal government building thing. So,
they make it seem like it's all of Portland.
Yeah, it's the smallest section, and they only do it during like designated hours. It's the most planned, concise riots you've ever seen. So it's kind of funny. The whole thing's a little off.
Yeah, but I recommend to still stay away if you want to be safe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd be more worried about catching COVID than catching a rubber bullet, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So tell me, what else you been up to? How's your farm fishing? Your fish farm?
Oh, dude, my fishes are like a little over a month old, and you could tell that they're little betas.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many do you think you have? If you had to guesstimate, how many beta fish made it?
I think like 150.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
It's a beta gold mine.
Yeah, if you're there, just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 10. That's like a little like area only. Yeah. You're like, wait a minute. There's still so much tank left.
Wow. Yeah. And how long before they're ready to be shipped out to people?
About a month.
Okay. So all the Audionots out there who want a beta fish, hit us up on Twitter or one of our social medias, and Rin will sell you one because he's got a lot. I
have very, very mediocre beta. So.
Yeah, I mean, how many beta fish can you buy that was made by a Z-list podcaster? I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the only one.
Yeah, the only one. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
This is your hot beta fish hours. We're talking about beta fish and everything beta fish related.
Yeah, I got a few relatives wanting to take the little ones away already because they want to see it grow. They want to.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Start from the beginning. I think they're about that time where you could like transfer it safely. So if they want to come over, they can.
That sounds pretty cool. What else have you been doing other than beta fishing? Have you been watching anything? Going anywhere?
Well. You should go do some sort of activity over the weekend. Like last week, we went to do some lavender picking.
Yeah, how was that?
Fun. It was pretty fun. It's hot, and I didn't realize there's so much bees.
Oh yeah, bees love lavender.
Yeah, so if you're allergic to bees, don't go.
Don't go. At least not without your EpiPen.
Yeah.
That's cool. We're getting ready to go on a camping trip. So literally right after we wrap up this podcast, I'm gonna start packing. Got everything kind of pulled to the side. Just to the right of me is a whole pile of camping gear. So that's going to be super fun.
So you're going to be off the grid, right?
Off the grid, yep. I think camping is one of those social distancing things. If you do it right, it's pretty easy to do safely and still have like a blast and almost forget that it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that's going camping this weekend.
Yeah, that's the only thing is a lot of people are doing it because everybody had the same idea. Plus, we usually camp at the beach, and it's much cooler there. So while it'll be like 90 here, it'll only be like 75, 80 there. So
right.
That'll be nice.
So you're going to be gone. You'll be missing a lot of good stuff this weekend that's coming out.
I know. There's so much debuting this weekend. Maybe we can start with our healthy stream right now and talk about some of those things like Umbrella Academy. Let's start there. How geared up are you for the Umbrella Academy?
Dude, I'm so hyped for this. Tomorrow I might watch it tomorrow night or binge it all
Is
Friday
Netflix
night.
Giving us all the episodes at once?
I think so. Are they?
Usually they do, right?
Yeah.
They're not like Hulu and some of these other ones that like kind of drip them out, or HBO Max.
Yeah. Did you watch the recap they did?
No, like I really liked Umbrella Academy. So I saw the very first trailer way back when, and I haven't watched because there was one that's like, here's the first 2 minutes of the episode. Here's this, here's that. And so I just stayed away from it. So I was just like, I want to go into it like excited and fresh because I remember it pretty well.
Yeah. Well, if you need a recap, Netflix did a thing where they got the actors and actresses to recap the season 1 for you.
Oh.
So like time traveling dude would like say his part, and then like ape dude would say his part, and they kind of recap the whole thing. It's pretty neat.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah, well, maybe kind of like, okay, I remember what happened now.
Maybe I'll watch it right before I jump into the season.
Yeah, and they're like, oh wait, spoiler alert, this happens. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, that's cool. So yeah, Umbrella Academy is coming out right away. So that's gonna be awesome. Also, I saw on Netflix. What was it? They had another one that was coming out really soon too.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think it comes out today. Transformers.
Oh, the cartoon we talked about.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer for that one?
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. It was kind of like a mixture almost of like 3-dimensional art and 2D art, and I don't know, it looked kind of neat.
But then they made the Autobots and Decepticons look like the 80s Transformers.
I like that because that's
so
my speed.
Yeah, they look way cooler. And it takes place right before the destruction of Cybertron.
Okay, before their planet kind of goes down in flames.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Megatron and Optimus are fighting each other. And so it takes place right there. And then they're like, who's going to win? And we all know that. I think Optimus loses and he goes to Earth, right?
Right, because they like kind of lose and then they have to like ditch it to like recoup and reattack or something.
Yeah, it's like live to fight another day. But the animation, I watched the trailer again. I was like, man, I got hyped. So
nice. So
it's really cool.
Transformers and Umbrella Academy this weekend.
Yeah.
Were you telling me about some sort of trailer you saw? Was that a Netflix movie?
I think so.
What was that one called?
Oh, Teenage Bounty Hunters.
Teenage Bounty Hunters. Does that come out this weekend too?
Oh, I don't know, but I thought it was a movie, but it's a series.
What? Man, I forgot to watch. I was gonna watch the trailer and I totally forgot to. So tell me about Teenage Bounty Hunters.
Well, it's about these 2 teenage twin girls.
Okay.
Coming of age sort of thing in high school, and all of a sudden they like take out this bad guy, and they're like, "Oh, this is so easy," and then they got like paid for it, and then they get hired by this like kind of like chubby black dude.
Yeah.
And then basically they work for him. He gets the bounties. They go and catch the bad guys, and yet still live like their teenage life.
So let me ask you this: Teenage Bounty Hunters, better or worse? You think is it going to be than Cursed?
Oh man, for me, Curse was pretty bad. The only redeeming part about Curse is it's based on King Arthur that I really enjoy.
Right.
So it has that. But the Teenage Bounty Hunter is just like girls doing happy accident, takedowns of bad guys and they winning or something like that.
Is it supposed to be funny? Like, is it know that it's kind of dorky?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that might be okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as Cursed goes, I watched the first episode and I'm like, nope, not for me. And so we bailed on it. But you stuck with it, right?
Yeah, I did it for the podcast. I wanted to see it all the way through so I could have a legit review on it.
Okay, so I want to give my review of just a single episode. So my review of Cursed on Netflix, only seeing episode 1, is I'll give it 2.5 nuts solely because I thought it looked like they put some money into it. I thought in the episode that I watched before I decided to quit, I thought the acting was bad. I thought somehow, even though it looked expensive, something about the cinematography was real weird. I couldn't like put my thumb on it. The story was kind of awkward. I think the writing wasn't great. And so that's kind of where I land. Now, you've seen the whole thing. How much better does it get? Does it rank higher than that if you stick to it?
Oh, it stays the same as your rating. Yeah. So your rating is pretty accurate.
Oh, that's funny. So give us a synopsis without ruining it for people. What kind of happens after the first episode?
Well, the thing is, like they didn't really stick to a King Arthur,
Plotline.
plot line that we know and love.
Right.
It's kind of like picking from history of different characters and just kind of like bring it together, making it your own sort of thing. And
okay.
the main chick, Catherine Langford, she plays Nimue, which is Lady of the Lake.
And she's the girl from 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah. So her character is Lady of the Lake, where she's in the lake and she has Excalibur later on. Yeah.
Okay.
But it shows you like a before she became that sort of thing. And
then they introduce us though eventually to King Arthur, or no?
Yeah, they do. And King Arthur is basically like a freaking Aladdin, dude. Street rat.
Oh, ha.
Yeah.
So funny.
And then this one scene like got me like laughing. I kid you not. When Merlin uses his power, his eyes glowed and used lightning. It looked just like the 90s Mortal Kombat.
He's like, finish him.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, you guys are like 2020 and using like 1990s special effects. It's hilarious.
Well, that was the weirdest part because, like I said, I've only seen episode 1, but like the cinematography looked pretty good. But whenever they decided to do any kind of like CG, it was horrible. Like the one scene in the episode 1 where she's like fighting away the wolves.
Oh yeah.
It looked like something me and you could probably concoct with our cell phones. It was that bad. I was like, what the heck?
It's like if they were planning to do this show, they should have at least let her train more on how to use a sword, because it was terrible. And this is one scene where it's supposed to be like super epic. I'm gonna, battle and kill everybody.
Yeah.
In the water. It was so cheesy, dude. I was just like cringing the whole time. And I think the one thing that bothered me the most was like how you saying that how they shot it.
Yeah.
It's taking place in old time.
Yeah.
But I feel like everything looks so new that it looks like a cosplay movie in a way.
That's an excellent point, because that's one of the other things I noticed in the one episode that I watched is it felt like everybody was running around doing stunts. Everybody looked like they were acting. None of it felt real. And I think usually you don't pick up on that kind of stuff, but like the one scene in the first episode where they're like attacking her OG village and everybody's running around, it looks so scripted. Like if you went to like an outdoor play with your kids and we're watching like some Renaissance fair type stuff.
Yeah. Is that you go to the library and all of a sudden people are LARPing over there?
Yeah, exactly. It's like just happened to be a bunch of LARPers and they decided to film a movie.
Yeah. It's I don't know, man. Your review was right on. It doesn't get any better than that. And the only like redeeming part was like it's kind of like a shooting off point to where they tell you more of King Arthur's story. So
okay.
I kind of enjoyed it in a way, but other than that,
did you enjoy it enough where you'll be a sucker if somehow the show miraculously gets a second season that you'd watch it?
Hell yeah.
I knew it.
That's because this is like a prequel to something better.
Right. Well, hopefully, maybe if it does somehow get a sequel or a second season, they'll give them a little bit better budget, hire some better writers, and they'll know what their characters are supposed to be doing.
Yeah, because I like the dude that played Merlin too. He, he played Floki in the Viking show.
Oh, okay.
And he's a brother of that dude from It.
Oh, in real life?
Yeah, Skarsgård or whatever that family.
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Peter Skarsgård.
Yeah, the whole family are like actors.
Oh, interesting. That's a hot take. I had no idea.
If you go look at their siblings, every single one of them, even their dad.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I had to look that up after the show.
Yeah, the dad was the doctor from Thor, that was working with Natalie Portman.
Oh, okay, yeah, the older guy with the beard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's another hot take. I think that Netflix isn't afraid to take chances on these shows. I mean, we saw that with Curse. We saw that with the Warrior Nuns. But they swing and miss a lot. So it's cool when you see them kind of like work with ones that have worked, like The Witcher. Yeah. So the news is coming out that they're going to do, we talked a few episodes ago about how they're going to do a Witcher animated series.
Yeah.
Well, it just broke that they're getting ready to do a prequel to The Witcher, which I'm kind of excited about. Hopefully, if it's the same quality and holds up like the original Witcher, because that's a medieval style show done right. This show is fantastic.
Yeah.
compared to this one, this garbagey one. So this new one's called The Witcher Blood Origin. It's a 6-part live action show. It's kind of a spinoff, and it's set 1,200 years prior to the story that we've just watched. And I'm not familiar enough with the game to know if that's something that was covered in the game or maybe in the books. Do you happen to know?
Oh, well, the game takes place after the show.
Oh, okay. So we're going even further back.
Yeah, it goes back to like the beginning of The Witcher, like the very first Witcher.
Interesting.
So we get to see like the Witcher's origin story, basically.
I'm curious to see how that'll do if it doesn't have Henry Cavill in it. Like if the ladies will still want to tune in, so they're gonna have to find a different hunky Witcher, I'm assuming.
Right.
So that'll be good. I'm excited for that. It doesn't say when it comes out. I think it's sometime next year, 2021.
Yeah,
So,
I bet you it's kind of like, hey Henry, you need to shave your mustache. Oh, I can't. Okay, we'll do a prequel.
He's like, I just refuse. I'm gonna wear this mustache forever.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm busy building more computers.
That was kind of cool for those that haven't seen that. Henry Cavill, or whatever his name is, did a like build your own PC type YouTube thing, which was kind of neat for a big buff dude to be kind of cool and dorky like the rest of us.
It really got me because I did it too. I'm like, he's doing what I'm doing. He's just like us.
Yeah, you built your own PC just like him. I cheated and just bought my kid a PC, so same idea though.
Yeah, because like he's a big like WoW player or something like that. Like
really?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And like, hammer something.
I have no idea.
And
I don't play any of those types of games.
And when he was like auditioning for the role of Superman, he was in the middle of a raid, and he got the call from Zack Snyder, and he like almost missed the call because he was raiding his buddies.
That's funny. Well, good for him.
It's
so cool when they stay like kind of normal like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I also saw on Netflix that they have another Ryan Reynolds movie coming. You know how he did 6 Underground, so he must have signed like a Adam Sandler type contract with Netflix.
Right.
And he also, and he's gonna be. We talked about before in that one Red something with The Rock and Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
but he's got a brand new one coming out called Our Name Is Adam. And it looks kind of interesting. Well, I don't know about looks. It sounds kind of interesting because there's no trailer yet. Because it's really, they just announced it, frankly.
You know nothing.
But basically, the basic concept is there's him and like a duplicate of him. That's why it's called Our Name Is Adam. And all the hijinks that not one but two Ryan Reynolds get in. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. One Ryan Reynolds is great. Two must be better. So that's something to kind of look forward to, I guess.
You wonder if they're gonna like look the same, or is one gonna be like a little chubbier than the other? You know,
I don't know. We've seen so many shows where they've had multiples of people, but who knows? Like that, they just recently had that Paul Rudd show where there was 2 Paul Rudds. So they both look basically the same. That show was pretty good. It's not like it's a little slow, but it's kind of fun. You know, just because Paul Rudd's so damn likable.
Yeah.
Over on Hulu, I actually saw this trailer for a brand new show called Woke. And Woke looks pretty good because you know who it stars?
Woke,
you know, like all the cool kids.
Someone young?
No, it stars the one, Winston from New Girl. I don't even know what his real name is. What's his real name? Do you know his real name?
I have no idea.
I love that guy.
Basic?
Though. It's probably like Dave. But the actor that played Winston from New Girl, and he seems like he's got lots of like small parts in lots of different movies, stars as he's like a painter, an artist of some sort that doesn't take the whole like discrimination against black folks all that seriously because he's never had it happen to him. And so everybody's kind of giving him a crap because he lives in this day and age where it's like, man, you got to like wake up a little bit. You've been really lucky to this point to not be discriminated against. So he's like, oh, you know, and so the white people love it. They're like, oh, we love this guy. He's so awesome. He tells it like it really is. And then one day, like it happens to a lot of black folks, the police decide to take him down for something he didn't actually do because he looked like he might have been the perp. And so he gets like he gets his ass kicked by the cops. And what they do that's really kind of interesting is it's kind of a dark comedy that's also giving us a message, you know, about this sort of thing. And once he kind of like realizes what's happened to him and that he has in fact been discriminated against and had this kind of action taken against him, is his art, the things he paints on, starts coming to life. So he likes, like, part of his art, he's like kind of a Banksy type dude, and he'd paint faces on things. And so like every face that he's ever painted comes to life and starts talking to him in animated style, which is really kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And so they're all like telling him how it is, and it's a really unique concept. And I think that comes out, it might come out this month, August. So I didn't, for whatever reason, like an idiot, I didn't write it down. But I actually saw this trailer while watching. I didn't go looking for it. I was watching something on Hulu, and it just kind of came up during a commercial break because I'm a cheap bastard. I have the cheap Hulu.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if it's that all in his head, or is that really animated? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think that it's probably how he's coping with what happened to him.
Yeah.
Because it's like one of these really dark humor type things where like it makes it easier for the viewer to see it through a different lens and maybe kind of like understand the repercussions of these kind of things. So yeah,
Just
I'm totally interested.
Yeah, just like Dummy.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Where it's that person's trauma and traumatic thing that you see it through this weird lens. So yeah, I'm down for woke. I think it comes out in August, but I'm not sure. Also on Hulu, they're getting a Marvel series. However, our friend Kevin Feige has become very careful about what he's going to put the word Marvel on anymore. So because it's kind of really off-kilter Marvel, and they no longer want people to associate anything outside of their cinematic universe on TV with Marvel, that they're bringing together Hellstrom. And Hellstrom is a comic about basically the devil has two kids, a female and a male, and they run around and they're kind of good, anti-heroes, if you will. And so that's what Hellstrom's about. And the trailer for this is out as well too. So I highly recommend everybody go out and watch the Hellstrom trailer. But this time on the Hulu version of it, they've changed it a little bit, and instead of the devil, they've tried to make it a little bit more realistic. So instead of the devil having the kids, it's a serial killer. So they're the like twins or something, siblings from this serial killer, and so they're kind of bad themselves by nature, but they're still anti-heroes. And it also looks kind of like dark and humorous. And I think they're kind of gearing that one up to be like a Halloween show, and it debuts October 16th on Hulu.
Oh, nice. I'll give it a watch.
Heck yeah. Even if they don't call it Marvel, we know it was a comic book first.
Yeah, Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
he can't fake us.
He can't fake us.
Fake us? Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how closely it sticks to the comics. So I might, how I am, I might go out and see if I can download like a few of the books to see what the storyline looks like. Because I really don't know. I've never read it before.
Yeah, I have no information about it.
No knowledge. Over on Prime, sticking with kind of like the paranormal stuff, they've got a show that I'm very excited about, very, very excited about, called Truth Seekers. Now, Truth Seekers stars Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. You may know, yes, I know you know. The viewers out there say, oh, those names are so familiar. They only were in two of the best movies ever made. They were the stars of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Two of my all-time favorite British movies. So good. So and this is a TV show, not a movie. In the TV show Truth Seekers on Amazon Prime, Nick Frost seems like he's the star, where Simon Pegg maybe is only kind in it, more of a producer, kind of a sidekick once in a while, because he's definitely the bigger star of the two. But Nick Frost is like a paranormal researcher, kind of like those shows that used to be on all the time, where the guys would walk around with their camcorders into like dark rooms and like, oh, did you see it? It touched me,
I mean, he looks the part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a funny like mockumentary of them following around him as he goes and he's like trying to be a truth seeker and look at all this paranormal stuff, and stuff goes awry, of course, and things like that. So it looks really fun.
Nice. I mean, I like the two duos. They're always good together.
They're always good, and honestly, Amazon puts out good TV. They don't put out nearly as much content as like Netflix and some of these other channels. But for the most part, everything I've ever seen on Amazon Prime has been pretty decent.
Yeah. I mean, they always have like good production. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
but
for
a little
sure.
Slow.
Yeah, they're a slow roll. Other than The Boys, which is one of my all-time favorite shows.
Yeah. Did you, speaking of The Boys,
Yeah.
did you see that clip, that little short clip of the whale scene?
No, I heard you. Somebody, either you or somebody else, told me about it, but I want to see it. I tend to, like I said, just like with Umbrella Academy, when I know I'm gonna watch it, I don't like to see the clips from the shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it because, it was a clickbait. And I watched it. Yeah, this is so funny, dude. Got me so hyped.
I'm so excited. We talked about when that debuts? It's pretty soon. I can't remember the exact date though.
Either September, I think. September. Final answer, bro.
September? Well, that's not far from now. It's only a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like starting kind of this weekend moving forward through August and September, we're finally going to get some new television shows and movies because it got a little dry here at the end of July.
Yeah, because August. Yeah.
Now, I have another one that I'm not certain that I wrote it down right. I think that maybe my autocorrect may have changed the name of it. Oh, no, I got it. Here we go. So there's a brand new original movie coming out on Amazon Prime called Utopia. And it stars John Cusack and Rainn Wilson. You might know Rainn Wilson from The Office. He played Dwight Schrute. And let me see if I still have the tab open for it. Because I don't even remember what this was about.
Utopia?
I added it on the list forever ago. Utopia. Okay, there we go. Utopia. So Utopia is, it is a series. Interesting. So Utopia is an upcoming American drama that's based off a British show. So it's a kind of a reboot of a British version that I guess probably did pretty well.
Just like The Office.
Yeah, just like The Office. It stars Rainn Wilson, John Cusack. Anybody else good? Look in the list of folks that are in it. Did they even tell me?
Man, has Cusack ever done anything good recently?
No, other than like complain on the internet a lot. It seems to be his thing.
The ratings? I don't know.
Was he? Oh yeah. Utopia was ordered as a directed series on April 19, 2018, with an order of 9 episodes after originally being set up for HBO with David Fincher, but never was produced. So it just recently got ordered and made for Amazon, and they put the first teaser out during Comic-Con. So that's probably where I saw it. It's been so long since I saw it. I was going to talk about it when we were going to do an episode last week, and I honestly don't even remember what this thing was about.
Well, dude, I actually saw John Cusack at a Comic-Con.
Did you sit and watch him like live online?
No, like at one of our local Comic-Cons.
Oh, like at a Portland Comic-Con, you've seen John Cusack?
Yeah, they like kind of try to hide him, but you kind of peek and see him like, oh, there he is.
Oh, he's one of the celebrities that was big enough that you had to pay to go hang out in the little cubicle with him. You can't just see him.
Yeah.
That's always.
But sometimes you like can't get the right angle. Like, all right, good enough.
All right, here we go. I finally got the description of this dumb show. Utopia is about a group of young adults who meet online and are mercilessly hunted by a shadowy deep state organization after they come into possession of a near mythical cult-like underground graphic novel. What the dude, I'm stoked right now. I'm totally down for it. They discover that the conspiracy theories in the comics pages may actually be real and are forced into a dangerous, unique, and ironic position of saving the world. So that sounds pretty good.
Does it say save the cheerleaders, save the world in there too?
You're like, we've seen this before. It was on NBC once. So interesting. Yeah. So I think I'm down for some Utopia. It's probably better than that last show that we watched, or I took the bullet for and watched, called Utopia Falls, which was about singing futures.
Oh, yeah, I stood away from that one.
Yeah, you lucked out. That was a good call on your part. Moving over to our friends at HBO Max, I've been watching His Dark Materials because I saw that it did get picked up for a season 2. So season 1's been out for a little while. Have you ever seen it?
No, I actually told my wife to watch it.
Yeah, has she watched it yet?
Yeah, she's been watching it.
Does she like it?
She enjoys it.
Yeah, I kind of like it too.
This is just like the Golden Compass.
Yeah, it's got like fat Harry Potter vibes, like going through it. It's definitely like the Golden Compass because obviously it's part of that.
Yeah.
But it's a little on the slow side. It almost feels like it could be on Amazon. But it's beautifully shot. It's a gorgeous looking show. You can tell it's expensive. The acting's superb. So
Yeah.
really good acting. The story's good. The special effects, because as anybody who follows any of that his Dark Material stuff, the humans have their own kind of like spirit animal that hangs out with them. And the animated animals all look really well done. So I really enjoy that too. So we're probably halfway through, but I'm digging it. It really gets going after you kind of sit with it for a bit.
Oh, nice. I'll have to give it a try.
Yeah, it does. It is a slow burn though, so you have to stick with it. But I think that they're really setting themselves up for season 2. And now that I know for sure there's going to be a season 2, it seems kind of worth it. HBO also put out a trailer for a brand new supernatural horror drama that they're getting ready to produce.
Ooh,
And guess what? Oh, you're going to like it even more. Guess who it's produced by?
Seth Rogen.
That would be cool. He's making the American Pickle. It is produced by Jordan Peele and J.J. Abrams.
What?
Yeah, what a combination, right?
That's a good crossover right there.
Yeah, fantastic. And it comes out this month in August 16th. It's called Lovecraft Country. Let me learn how to speak the English language. Lovecraft Country. And it looks really good. I can't remember the actress's name, but I know her best from, she played a teenager on Friday Night Lights, and she's just a gorgeous, gorgeous gal. And with the first season of The Boys, I thought, oh, nice, she's in it. And then she got ran through at the very beginning by the speedster guy, the Flash-looking guy, ran right through her.
That's her?
I think so.
Is it Minka Kelly?
No, it's a African American lady. So basically, it's set in like the 50s, and I only saw parts of the trailer, or I saw the trailer, but it only shows parts of the show. And her and this dude, they're like trying to discover this weird mystery, and it looks like it's some sort of like tentacle monster, as far as I can tell. But it feels like a 50s kind of drama. Then all of a sudden, like almost like a lot of things that Jordan Peele does, this like monsters randomly show up. Or when J.J. Abrams does those, what are those weird movies he does with the monsters? What is it called? You know, the ones where they don't ever show the monster and everybody's running around with a camcorder.
Oh,
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, yeah.
Yes, it's got Cloverfield vibes as well. So, but that looks good. The acting looks good. You know, I'm stoked on who's making it. So,
you know, I'm kind of torn apart on like, I don't know if people might disagree with me, but I hate it when they don't show the monster. Like, you leave it to me to imagine it myself? Come on, man.
You're like, how dare you? You know, that's honestly, though, the reason Jaws was so successful, 50 years ago or whenever it came out, is because they didn't show you the shark until the very end. The terror of what it could be was worse than what it actually was.
Yeah.
And so I'm okay with it. I think that we may be on different ends of the spectrum on that particular aspect.
Yeah. Just like when that one movie, Bird
Box?
Bird Box came out, like, gosh damn it, man, show me something.
You sat there that whole time. You're like, no.
It's like, it's not even worth it. I don't even get to see.
Where's the freaking monsters? I've also been watching. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe they're going to fight like a huge ass kraken or something in that show.
Maybe, because it looks like an octopus leg. Like you should go and watch it and tell us next episode what you think it is, because it looked kind of tentacly. Either that's some of that weird Japanese tentacle porn, which that'd be a real twist.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming. Get it?
Based on a manga.
Little did we know that that's really what they're into.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was going to say that I've also been watching, thanks to your recommendation, and I almost didn't stick to it, and I'm really glad I did. Doom Patrol. Oh my gosh. What a great show. And to be fair, it took me, I would say, 3 episodes. The first episode I watched, I almost didn't watch it anymore because I'm like, I'm not a DC guy. And I thought, I'll watch one more. And then that one was intriguing enough that I watched one more. And then after that, episode 3, I was legitimately hooked. What a great show.
Yeah, because like you were asking me, how do you describe it? I'm like, I don't know. It's not your like typical superhero type movie, It's like, and it's really actually well made and well acted too. And,
Yeah,
like,
that's what was shocking for
yeah,
like because DC has given us so many like cheesy, kind of silly superhero type television shows that
yeah,
it was surprising because this one looks like it's gonna be, you got a big robot man, you got a guy wrapped up in like mummy tape. You're like, oh my god, this is gonna be so cheesy. But it's actually, like you said, it's so well written, and the humor and the development of the characters is great. I really enjoy it.
yeah. And it's a very like woke show too, you know.
Yeah, it's shockingly woke. I mean, this they're going to teach what's his face over on Hulu about things because yeah,
Yeah,
they dive into a lot of stuff. They talk about a lot of kind of people's emotional states. You know, how depression, a lot of times depression really isn't talked about. They talk about depression, your mental state. They have a really great episode on the LGBTQ community, and one of the
yeah,
characters is part of the LGBTQ community. They talk about child abuse. I mean, they really hit on a lot of really deep things, but they do it all so well that it doesn't feel like they're using it as a gimmick.
right.
It's really fun. I enjoyed it.
So, do you know why there's all that time jump yet?
Well, so like as far as I can tell, some of them just don't age because it is confusing if you're not really paying attention. Because
Yeah,
they'll jump back into like the 50s and they look exactly the same. And all I can assume is because of some of their superpowers that they just don't age. And I think that really so far this first season is spending a lot of time trying to develop the characters and introduce us to who they are, why they are the
yeah,
way they are.
yeah,
And it's kind of it's a little slow of a burn, but it's really the payout's been good so far. I've really enjoyed how they kind of like, especially with the Jane character that has multiple personalities and each one has its own superpower,
yeah.
and the robot guy. They've done super good job with those two. Like you feel like so emotional for the robot guy. And he's a freaking brain inside of a robot
Yeah.
body.
And you're like, oh, freaking Brandon Fraser.
Yeah, Fat Brendan Fraser figured out the best way to act. It's he gets to
Yeah.
be a voiceover in a live action TV series.
You know the dude that played the mummy guy, positive man or negative man, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
whatever he is. Yeah, I can never remember
Uh,
any of their superhero names.
yeah. But I always thought he could make the perfect Superman.
Oh yeah, yeah, he does very
Yeah.
much look like a Superman. That's kind of
Yeah.
interesting too, because I thought, wow, they took this guy who looks like he normally would play like the leading man, and then they wrapped him
Yeah.
in bandages for the rest of the show.
Yeah. And then when they flashback, you see who he is. They're like, man, he is perfect for Clark Kent, man. He looks the
Yeah,
part.
yeah, he really does. And what's interesting when I did a little bit of research, because whenever I watch a new show, I always kind of look it up. That and because I don't watch any of those other cheesy DC shows that are on like CW, but I guess a lot of them have played those exact same characters on other shows. It showed that some of them have been on what's the one with all the people? Don't they have like a group show? Can't remember what
Wait
it's
for
called.
what?
DC on CW.
Oh, like the Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, so they've been on Legends of Tomorrow as their exact same characters, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, because they have that huge crossover
Yeah,
where they like went to different Earths and like
so
they came up too.
yeah, so that's kind of. I mean, I might actually go watch just the episodes they're in because I like them enough, and I don't really care about the rest of those people.
Oh, fun fact! Do you know
Yeah,
that Negative Man, he plays gay in the show.
yeah.
In real life, he's also a gay guy too. So
Oh,
it's really
interesting.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know that. That is interesting. I had no
yeah.
idea.
My wife's like, damn, he's too good looking, and it turns out, yeah,
Isn't that what always happens? The best looking ones. DC also has another good show that I'm so excited about because normally
DC.
I know it's going to blow your mind, but it's coming to HBO Max. In fact, it comes I think this Saturday. Harley Quinn, the cartoon. So I've seen chunks of this
Oh
because
yeah,
it
yeah,
lived on the
yeah,
DC
yeah.
universe for a while. But everything I've heard rumor wise is the DC universe is just about kaput. It's going to go the way of
Yeah.
probably Quibi. Nobody's paying for it and it's kind of
Yeah.
sucks. So they're moving all the good content over to HBO Max.
Finally.
And I've seen nice, probably 5-minute chunks of this Harley Quinn cartoon. It's very adult, not for the kids, people, but it looks so funny. Like the parts I've seen were hilarious. So I'm really excited for the Harley Quinn cartoon.
With Kaylee Cuckoo, Coco.
Oh, from Big Bang?
Yeah.
She's Harley Quinn?
Yeah, she voices Harley Quinn, I think.
Do you know who does the Joker on that?
No.
I had
Is
to
it a
look
good
that up.
one? Oh.
I saw. I mean, he sounded like the Joker, but I was like, I wonder if it was a Mark Hamill type thing. But
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, the
But
one scene I saw was like Harley Quinn gets with like Poison Ivy. I'm like, oh shit, let's go.
yeah, one of the scenes I
Yeah.
saw, she was they were sitting at like a table. All the bad guys, like Bane was there, and the Joker and the Scarecrow, and they're all hanging out. And Joker's like yelling at them all because they're all suck because they can't ever get Batman. And it was
Yeah.
really funny the way that they kind of interacted and stuff. So I enjoyed it. Like at one point, if I remember right, the Joker pulls out like that gun that normally he shoots and has the flag comes out that says bang.
Bang.
But he ends up blowing his head off instead. He's like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen.
I don't know why they don't give us keep stay in the DC realm. Titans.
Well, didn't they originally have the Titans TV show on DC Universe?
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be on HBO Max, but
Maybe it
So-
will. I think some of them may have gotten canceled before the transfer started happening, like
Yeah.
Swamp Thing and Titans. I think they may have already been canceled. So it would just
Oh.
depend if HBO wants to bring them back.
I mean, just put it on HBO so we can watch it.
At least the reruns. Yeah,
Yeah.
why not? So, but that's a couple good things to look forward to on HBO. Staying within our
Oh.
healthy stream. Oh, yes.
HBO
yes.
Max. I like you. I started watching again. Close Enough. The cartoon you're watching.
yeah?
Dude, that
Isn't it-
show is so funny, dude.
So good.
Yeah, I'm like
I
almost
love it.
done. It's so funny. I like crack up at lunch. I feel so embarrassed just eating my lunch and like
Laughing out loud.
It's so funny.
You're literally LOLing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend for everybody who hasn't seen Close Enough, especially if you like the regular show. But even if you don't like regular show, Close Enough is basically a sitcom that's displayed as a cartoon. It's really fun.
Yeah. It has really good taste, and it really draws the line, but never over the line.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, I love that show. Speaking of cartoons, over on Disney Plus, and I don't think we talked about this last time because it's been a few weeks since we've done an episode, but Disney announced a couple weeks ago that they're going to make a Bad Batch cartoon based off the Bad Batch from the Clone Wars, which is very
Yeah.
exciting because that was kind of a fun thing that they added in season 7. For those of you who don't watch the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch are the clones that didn't come out quite right, but because they ended up having kind of their own unique skill sets, they became their own like specialized group that they would send into different circumstances. And so like there was one that's extra big and he's tough, one that's an amazing sniper, one that's supposedly a better strategist, that kind of thing. So the Bad Batch is basically a team, but with stormtrooper outfits on, and I'm down.
Nice. And this is animated?
Animated, I think in the exact style that Clone Wars was, which
Okay.
I really like. I got so
Yeah.
used to that style. So speaking of Star Wars, they announced that they're going to be doing a Donald Glover starring Lando Calrissian show, and I'm pumped for that because I mean Donald Glover back on TV.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Dude, he's good at everything, man.
Yeah, he is the best. So I don't really have any other news other than they said that they think it's going to happen, or it's like a 50-50 going to happen right now. And I hope that the 50 is in our favor.
I wonder what they're gonna do with it. Like, are they gonna what time frame? Like before Solo or after Solo?
I think you go right after because I think that originally it was supposed to have all the people like Lando was the star, but we would still see Han Solo with that new actor. And then we were going to still see like Darth Maul, and they're going to incorporate Darth Maul. Then, of course, we all heard the Darth Maul news, or maybe we haven't. I actually have that for my news jacuzzi section. So there's some hot Darth Maul news that will make sure that the original actor will not be in the show because he got himself in some hot water.
Damn. Well, just put makeup on someone that looks like.
Well, that's just the thing, because I guess someone else has played the Darth Maul character in something, so they might just give it to that actor instead.
Yeah.
Also on Disney Plus, Ron Howard confirmed that they've started early production on Willow. Do you remember the original Willow TV show or
Yeah,
movie?
dude. That
The
was my
best.
ish, man.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I would imagine that with Disney money and Ron Howard attached, that the Willow TV show should be the kind of mystical show we'll dig.
Was that what's that dude that played Batman?
Val Kilmer. Yep.
Yeah, he's in there, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's in this one, but yeah, he was in the original one.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer looks like a woman now. He's gotten all weird. I don't know what's happening with him. So, and it's not like a transition type thing. He's just a weird guy. So I can make fun of it when it's not that.
Yeah, I like Willow when I was young.
Yeah, Willow is great. I loved Willow. Plus, the little guy in Willow was an Ewok. He was the main Ewok. What was the main Ewok's name? I can't remember his name. I can't remember. Wicket?
Yeah.
I think it was Wicket. So he was also an Ewok.
He's in every Star Wars movie.
Yeah. He's a good little actor too. Is he still alive or is he dead? He might be dead.
No way. I think he's still alive.
We'll have to check. We'll check on that. I'm not sure.
I mean, if he died, we would have seen it, right? Because he's.
I would have thought, but I don't know. Also on Disney Plus, they finally confirmed during Comic-Con, San Diego Virtual Comic-Con, that they are in fact doing Hawkeye is going to be another one of their series. They'd mentioned that they were going to. They do in fact have the original actor. What's his name? Jeremy Renner. Thank you. Playing Clint once again. But what we did learn that's new news is they're going to introduce Kate Bishop, which is very exciting. And I can tell you're getting excited because you've heard the rumors of who's going to play Kate Bishop, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You're a girl. Go ahead.
Yeah. Haley Steinfeld.
Oh,
right? Is that right?
That's right. It's correct.
Yeah. I love her, dude.
I know you crush on her hard. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what they're doing. That Jeremy Renner's done with the part, which is fine. I never thought he was. I could take him or leave him honestly as Hawkeye. Yeah. So they're setting up Haley Steinfeld or whoever ends up with the part as Kate Bishop, who is the next Hawkeye. So that's gonna be cool.
Because I saw another header where they're like Kathleen Langford.
Yeah.
13 Reasons Why. She's like, I'd love to be back in MCU.
Oh.
Because she played Tony's daughter, the grown up version. Yeah. So it's kind of like they're gearing up to have all these like female leads.
We're like the next, because Kate Bishop is, for any of the comic nerds out there, is in part of the Young Avengers, is what they call that title of that book. And so, yeah, it wouldn't shock me if we see a Young Avengers movie here in the future that stars a lot of these kind of female actresses.
Yeah, it makes sense because you gotta get your audience, the younger audience, to get involved and grow with them too. Yeah, not just like us old folks. And like,
us olds. Yeah. And I'm the kind of guy that if it has the name Marvel on it, I'll watch it no matter what. So I'm totally down. Yeah. And they haven't done us wrong, so I trust them. Until they start doing us wrong, I'm all for it. I'm all in. So I want to take a quick break, and on the flip side of the break, we're going to talk about a few tasty trailers. I've got 1, 2, 3 tasty trailers, and then we're going to hit the news jacuzzi, dip our toes in. I got the return of Attack of the Show. What? Darth Maul gets himself in some hot water, and it's not the news jacuzzi. How athletics are replacing the fans. What are we talking about there? And the most exciting news of the night, Fight Crab. First rule of Fight Crab is you don't talk about Fight Crab. So we'll see you guys on the flippity flip. Need affordable graphic design? VisualanteDesign.com should be your first stop. High quality work at low prices. Perfect for every need from corporate to personal. Visit VisualanteDesign.com now and request your free quote. And for a limited time, mention Audionots for 10% off your first project. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. We want to talk about some tasty trailers to start off the second half of the episode. Did you see, because, we talked a little bit about San Diego Virtual Comic-Con giving us lots of good stuff. Yeah. And you asked me earlier, is there any trailers I need to watch? And I remembered like 1.5. I didn't tell you about all the other trailers I saw. But did you happen to see the trailer for the new Walking Dead show?
No, I didn't watch that one. Okay. That was the one you were forgetting?
Yes. Which sucks because of all the trailers, it's the best one. So
you asked me to watch the other one?
I know. I told you about the suck one. That's the one that I saw last. See, I'm like a dog. I only remember the last thing I saw. Hey. So Walking Dead is wrapping up their final season. I don't even know what season they're on anymore. So that's coming up in October. But as the final season of The Walking Dead ends, they're kicking off a brand new series. And this series is called The Walking Dead A World Beyond, and it debuts October 4th. And it looks, and I knock on wood, it actually looks really good. And so what it is it takes place 10 years after The Walking Dead. So at this point, these folks that are in this it stars a bunch of teenagers who the only world they've known is a zombie-filled apocalypse.
Right.
So they never knew the old world. And it's about this group of teenagers and how they kind of navigate this world and how they're kind of pro level at a lot of things, but there's all these kind of new circumstances and things that are evolving with this world. And it looks pretty good. There's this one scene where they're kind of like fighting through some zombies and they knock this one over and he falls down and like he's got like a beehive inside of his head and all these bees start shooting out of his mouth. I'm like, oh, zombie bees, let's go, zombies. I'm like, damn, I love it. So I haven't been excited about The Walking Dead honestly in forever, and so this show makes me excited. And if they ruin it, I'm done with them forever.
Well, it's kind of like if you take Rick's daughter, I forget her name, Juliet or something.
Sure, why not?
Because in the most recent one, she's kind of like 8 or 9. She could shoot a gun. She has Rick's hat, you know. She's like a little kid.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like their story because she was born into that setting.
Right. Exactly.
So they're taking that and expanding it into like a whole new world, and that's all they knew, you know.
Which makes sense for the name World Beyond.
Yeah. So I think the whole concept's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that it got some different showrunners because I felt like both Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead started off so strong. Each one of those shows gave us about 3 or 4 really epic seasons of good television, like must-watch television.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they got new showrunners. I think they did. And it got really kind of cartoony, but not even following the comic book, which had given them the basic outline of how it should go. They just went off the rails and did their own thing. And I hated it. I hated it so much. And so this looks like they're kind of going back to the way it used to be. And that's kind of what makes me excited.
Well, that's why the newer seasons are like that too. Because I think when it got bad, you know, it was the showrunners and they like fired those people.
Yeah.
And then, because I've seen the most recent ones.
They're better.
And it got like better. Not as good, but a little better, you know?
Yeah, well, they'd already killed everybody at that point. Yeah. It's like you'd have to almost watch it like a new show because it killed all the stars. Yeah,
so the new one, I hope that it's good and we just kind of grow with it too, and not just worry about like, where's Rick, you know? When are they gonna bring in old man Rick? Like,
yeah, no, I'm really hoping that they kind of like wash away all that. Maybe they make a few references, but we don't need to worry about anybody from the past showing up.
Yeah,
so
because we're just be done with them, you know.
Yeah,
new slate.
So I'm excited for that. Walking Dead: World Beyond, October 4th, and I believe it's still on AMC. The trailer I did remember to tell you to watch is a much worse one, and only reason we're talking about this because I thought it was funny how bad it was. So there's this movie that was supposed to be launched in 2017 or 18. It's been around, kicking around forever, and I think because of COVID. In the lack of things, they finally decided to put this out.
Why not?
It's called, why not? It's called Sky Sharks. And Sky Sharks looks like it could be like the ugly cousin of like
Sharknado.
Yeah. And Sky Shark says, you know what would be cool is if we took the epicness of Sharknado and the bad CG and added in Nazis. So Sky Shark, essentially, as far as I could tell, and maybe you can tell it's different, the plot is this Nazi develops these sharks that he flies around like B-52 bombers, and he uses them to zoom around and attack people.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole damn concept is this evil Nazi scientist has perfected sky sharks, which 20 of them can destroy an entire country is one of the lines. So it's like, I'm like, what the hell's going on with this movie?
Yeah, the best part was when the dad and the daughter in the airplane. And I was like, look, Dad, there's a shark over there. And then you look at the dad's watching some kind of like boob girl in cave woman shooting machine guns at like dinosaurs. I was like, yeah, let's watch that one.
It's probably another movie they made.
Yeah, and then the shark comes and like eats the stupid airplane. Like, oh my God, it's so bad.
Yeah, it looks terrible. So Sky Sharks, I believe, is going to be available via VOD, which is shocking that anybody would pay money for it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you give it a hot minute, it'll show up on your favorite streamer before you know it. Because sometimes those movies, honestly, like you grab a couple cocktails, bag of popcorn, and you know what you're getting into. It's kind of fun. Like I enjoyed watching all the Sharknado movies with my son, and we laughed our asses off the whole time because it's so
Yeah.
bad. It's so bad, it's good.
Yeah, if it was on Netflix, I would watch Sky Shark.
Yeah, so I'm down for Sky Sharks when it comes out. So we shall see.
Oh, dude, what caught me off guard with that trailer is towards the end, there was somebody riding the sharks, and there's freaking zombies. I'm like, what the hell?
Like it deserves everything. There was nothing
Yeah.
off limits in Sky Sharks. So flying sharks, why not have zombies? My next trailer, my next trailer is a documentary, and it's based off of one of my favorite cartoons from back in the day. I believe it was, what do you think, mid-90s when it came out?
I think so.
Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy were always my favorite. So Ren and Stimpy, anybody who hasn't seen it, you young folks out there, go hunt down Ren and Stimpy and watch it. It was this animated cartoon that was on Nickelodeon, but it was definitely meant for older kids because it was just like crazy. It was one of the few shows where they let the artist be as arty as he wanted to be. And it dealt about a fat cat and a really angry Chihuahua guy. And they would run around and do all sorts of crazy stuff. I remember they had like even their own fake commercial. They had one for log, which was like the equivalent of like a slinky, and it was like log, it's big, it's round, it's wood.
Yeah, it happens like in the cartoon.
In the cartoon, yeah. And so this documentary called "Happy Happy Joy Joy: The Story of Ren and Stimpy" talks about the guy that created. His name is John something. I can't say his last name because we're pro level, not being able to pronounce names. Krosrinsky or something. But he turned out to be a real a-hole. So like a raging a-hole. In fact, not only was he a raging a-hole to everybody he worked with, but he was like real artsy fartsy. He turned out to also be kind of a petty. So he really liked the young ladies. In fact, I read a story about him a long time ago, and I'm hoping this will be covered in this documentary because I find this so fascinating. He would have fans would send in art to the Ren and Stimpy because Ren and Stimpy was huge. No one had seen a cartoon like this before. And fans would send in their artwork and be like, I love your artwork. And sometimes they would attach photographs. And I read this whole story about this young woman. I think she was 15 or 16. And she sent her illustrations of Ren and Stimpy to him and her photograph. Well, he liked the photograph, so he actually contacted her. And unfortunately, this girl had kind of a rednecky hillbilly mom, and they lived in a trailer somewhere. And here's this rich guy from Hollywood saying, oh, yeah, I want to hire your daughter to come out and work on the TV show. And little did they know that when she flew out there, she was going to become his girlfriend. And it became kind of quite the scandal that he was, sleeping with this like 15-year-old who he convinced it was just going to, work on the TV show. And the mom kind of let it go because she didn't know what to do. And it's a whole thing. So I'm assuming all this will be covered in the documentary, but it looks really interesting. I believe this is a straight to VOD type thing too. I don't know how much it'll cost, but Happy Happy Joy Joy: The Story of Ren and Stimpy.
You gonna get it?
Well, I mean, depends. If it's $4, maybe. If it's $20, no.
Usually VOD when it comes out like $19.99.
Well, I think that though is like for big movies, and this is not a big movie, so I think it should be $5 or less. But what do I know? But
$4.99.
Yeah, speaking of VOD, this one will definitely cost $19.99 because it kind of caught me off guard that they decided to do VOD because they've been promoting it like crazy. No, probably. Almost most certainly. But the new Bill and Ted movie.
Wait, no way.
Yes way. So September 1st, the new Bill and Ted 3 movie, which I'm actually excited for, and I might pay $20 for that just out of nostalgia. Bill and Ted is coming to theaters and on demand at the same time. So it probably means that Regal and AMC won't play it because they get real pissed off about that.
Yeah, who wants to go to the theaters, man?
Yeah, nobody wants to go to the theaters, and that's probably why they decided to do that. So yeah, September 1st, we can watch Bill and Ted at home on our big TVs.
Oh yeah, probably get that. Well, it's kind of like if you're going to the movies, you're taking you and your wife, so it's way more than $20.
Yeah, well, just it. If you take more than one person to see this movie, you're paying more than $20. So
Yeah.
even though it sounds like a lot to watch something at home, when you really think about new movie content, it's not that bad. In fact, I read a story. It was a survey they did with millennials, and I'm not a millennial, but the average millennial during the survey, and I think they said they surveyed over 10,000 millennials, said that they would pay on average $39.95 for new movies if they could watch them at home instead of going to the theaters. So millennials are willing to pay double
What the hell? Hell no.
before. I know, that's what I was thinking. But money doesn't mean nothing to them fools.
Yeah. Is your theater open so that you could go get popcorn?
Our theater's open to go watch movies.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
So go in and get some popcorn, come out, go home, and watch them.
Yeah, they had the for a while there when they were closed, you could literally roll up and they would bring it out to you. They bring you literally curbside garbage sack popcorn. They bring you a literal garbage sack full of popcorn that you could take home for like $14. And so you go home and enjoy the movie theater popcorn. We never did it because we were kind of heavy keto during that time. But now our movie theater is actually open and they're just playing. They'll probably have Bill and Ted, but they're just playing like old movies, like stuff that was from forever ago. But I'm not gonna risk COVID for some old movie. Get the hell out of here. Moving over, let's dip our toes in the news jacuzzi. My first story I'm pretty excited about is the return of G4. Did you ever watch the old television network G4?
I never really watched it, but I've seen it like here and there because I really was in love with Olivia Munn.
Yes, and Olivia Munn starred in probably the best show on G4 because there's actually two shows I used to watch pretty much religiously on G4. One of them was Attack of the Show, and another one of them starred Chris Hardwick, and it was about video games. I think it was literally called like X Games before X Games were like a real sport. I remember a big X as part of their logo. I don't remember the name of it completely, but I used to watch that show because it was back before a lot of the stuff we have now. You'd watch them literally review video games and they'd show gameplay and all this stuff before YouTube became popular for that. And then Attack of the Show, which was also amazing because it had Kevin Piera, he's still, I hope he comes back because he hadn't been doing anything. He was a great host. He's kind of a poor man's, what's his face? And he starred with Olivia Munn. And later on Attack of the Show, Sarah Jean Underwood was one of the co-hosts.
No way.
Yes way.
My beaver, Sarah Jean.
Yeah, can you believe that? Right before it was over, she was, because they would have like on the scene type reporters, kind of like Daily Show style, where they had all these different people talk about different things. She was one of the roving reporters.
Damn, has it been that long?
Yeah, I mean, so I pulled up their Wikipedia show or their Wikipedia page, and Attack of the Show ran from 2005 until 2013 on weeknights on G4.
Okay.
But yeah,
what seems so long ago?
It seems forever ago. But G4, I love that channel. I'm stoked that's coming back. I'm really interested to see what they're going to bring out. I'd imagine they're going to incorporate esports, maybe stuff from like streaming channels like Twitch, thing like that. And then, of course, they're bringing back Attack of the Show. I seriously doubt Olivia Munn will stoop low enough, but she'll be at least in the honorary first episode.
Yeah, just to get people to come back.
My favorite
was when she dressed up as Chun-Li. I was like, oh damn.
Oh yeah. Did you recently see that she said she found her Psylocke sword, and there's a video of her floating around on the interwebs because I follow her like a creep on Twitter, and she had her video and she goes, look, have you seen it?
No.
It's so funny. So she's standing against a wall, and there's like a painting, like it looks like an expensive. It's probably her house. So there's probably like a $20,000 painting behind her, and she doesn't say a word, but the title of it is "Found My Psylocke Story." And she starts doing this thing where she's like twirling around because she remembers all the stunts she learned, and she starts like really whipping this thing around, really good. And she gets too close to the wall, and she runs it through her painting. And she turns around and she makes the most shocked face, and she's just like, "Oh, what did I do?" And it just made me love Olivia Munn that much more. So,
and that painting just doubled in price.
Yeah, I know. Now everybody wants it.
Yeah.
But so I'm super excited for G4 Attack of the Show, and I really do hope that they at least get Olivia Munn for one episode.
I heard that she's old now. Is she old? Like in her 40s?
Maybe.
That's true.
I have no idea. Let me look real quick. Let's see how old Olivia Munn is, because we're real creeps now. Let's see.
This is all for research, okay?
Yeah, research. This is nice. I already have the Wikipedia open. Olivia Munn is 40 years of age. You're right, dude. She is a hot 40-year-old, because that if you go find that video of her swinging around the sword, you're gonna be like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna put her, like we always talk about my list. Throw her on the list. Why not?
Dude, it reminds me of this one like video commercial or mini or short.
Yeah.
Where like it was like a haunted phone and they made her boobs bigger or something.
Ah!
Have you ever seen that?
No, well, maybe I don't remember it though. I should.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was I like her.
Yeah, no, that sounds like you like her. Speaking of sexy stuff, did you see what happened to the actor that plays Darth Maul, Mr. Ray Park?
No, you got to tell me.
Okay, so Ray Park is the actor that played the original Darth Maul, and pretty much every time that they had a Darth Maul, he would get to play, and he was supposed to be in this new Lando TV show, but unfortunately, he may have blown that out of the water by getting himself a BJ and filming it and putting it on Instagram.
Damn, what's he thinking?
This fool, I don't know. All I can assume is either A, drugs, which I'm most likely, right? Because he's a Hollywood type and he's not that famous. B, alcohol. C, just bad decision making. But so Ray Park decided to use Instagram Live to show all of his fans him getting his saber waxed. And it's like, bro, why? Why would you do that to yourself? You just ruined your career. The only thing that's making you any money.
Yeah.
It's shocking. I couldn't believe that. What an idiot.
I bet you it was option B, alcohol.
Alcohol? We'll have to wait. We'll look and see if he ever comes out. Because I imagine an apology is forthcoming to try to save his career. But knowing Disney, it's probably a little too late for that. So hopefully it was the best sword swallowing he's ever partaken. So sorry, guy.
I thought you were going to tell us that he's a petty.
Oh, no. We're done with petty news. No more petty news. My next story, though, is kind of interesting. So we've all seen sports is finally coming back. And for those of us, who like sports like Ren and I, it's so exciting. But one thing that all the sports are kind of contending with is the lack of fans at the games. And so I've seen a few different things. I saw three things I thought was interesting. I wanted to see get your take on which one you think is the best. In Japan, they're doing a robotic fans in the stands. So they've created all these robot people that go, whoa, and dance around for their Japanese soccer games. And I was curious if you would enjoy robotic fans or if that would creep you out as one of the athletes.
Well, it's kind of like, Japanese, like for example, Japanese, they grew up with anime. Yeah. So anime is part of their life, right? Like if you go to McDonald's, you get anime stuff. You go to McDonald's over here, there is no anime stuff. So it's kind of like, they're on that mindset of cultural thinking that's part of culture. So maybe for them, it's not that weird.
Yeah, I mean, that could be that it's just not that weird to them, but it just seems, I don't know. So it says that, it was a baseball game. Dancing robots replace fans at a Japanese baseball game with their stadium devoid of fans due to coronavirus restrictions. The Japanese baseball team, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, have come up with their own imaginative replacements with dancing robots. And let me see if I can see it. They almost look from far away like a bunch of SpongeBobs. It's a bunch of yellow boxes going, woo! It's so funny.
Do they put like human faces on the robot face?
Let's see. I'm going to click through. I never got this
You're kind of
far.
funny.
Yeah, and I saw I think it was Korea, they were doing something too with, piped in noises and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
I know in Korea, they did like stuffed animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuffed animals. I saw that one too.
The sex dolls too.
Oh, so now that I've zoomed in further, you know what it is? It's those creepy ass robot dogs.
Oh, the Boston Mechanic ones?
Yeah, it looks just like the Boston Scientific dogs, and they're all like lined up on the seats, and they have flags coming out of their butts instead of tails. So
the Boston Robotics stock just went up because of Japanese sports.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm trying to see if it actually says if they're Boston Robotics or not. It just shows them. Well, one person goes, "It feels very dystopia to me." Yes, it does. And then
It's just,
so behind the row, there's 2 rows of the Boston Robotic yellow and black dogs, and behind them is a whole row of those like weird white robots that I don't know if you've ever seen them, but I saw them when we were in Vegas. They would be like introducing you into like the restaurant, those like greeting robots. It looks like the
maybe.
robot from Kimmy Schmidt, the one that she's
Oh,
always
yeah,
arguing.
yeah, yeah.
It's like a
What she's
whole
working
row of
with?
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a whole row of those too. So we've seen those. We've seen the stuffed animals. And then I just heard that the NBA is going to create an app where as you're watching the games, you can cheer with the app and click on it and it'll play it in the stadium. It refract it
Yeah.
back into the stadium, which I think
In
is
real
fun.
time.
Yeah. Which of those 3 is the least weird and you think is the best way to go, the best course of action?
I think for fan engagement, the app would be cool.
Yeah, because then it still feels like you're partaking to some degree.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool. I haven't looked at it yet, but if you could like maybe choose what kind of voice you have, am I a man, a woman? Am I loud? Am I quiet? Is my voice
Yeah.
low or high? Like those kind of. Am I whistling, yelling? Maybe I could choose the noise that my app makes. But how are they gonna stop people from just going and just beating on the app? I mean, they must limit it to some degree.
Yeah. Because for example, if like James Harden is shooting a free throw, you're like thunderstick.
Yeah, because I couldn't yell that long. I'd go, I'd lose my voice, but I could probably tap on my app as fast as I wanted.
It's kind of like those old school Mario Party games. You're like,
right? Yeah, just a button masher. You turn real basketball into a literal button masher. So yeah, that's fun. So I guess I agree that the app's probably the most realistic one. But the weird robots are kind of fun too, and I don't know why. It's almost better because I noticed that. Did you notice on the NBA, at least during the scrimmage games, they behind when they're shooting free throws, they bring up like a video of giant people like waving their arms around. I'm like, that's not gonna phase any real NBA player. They probably won't even notice that.
I still like something. They should have just used sex dolls.
Yeah, didn't they? Maybe that happened in Korea too. They got in trouble for using sex dolls.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
because that's genius. Why not use it?
Because that would throw. Yeah, that's right. It was Korea because they said they got fined. That it was one team that did it because it wasn't like a league thing. One team loaded their stadium with sex dolls around the rim, and they got hit with $100,000 fine for intimidation.
Worth it, dude.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. So that's great. So my last story before we wrap up the episode is about Fight Crab. Have you heard about Fight Crab?
Well, the first rule, nobody talks about it. I don't know. You got to tell me.
So we're going to break the first rule of Fight Crab, and we're going to talk about Fight Crab. So Fight Crab is a brand new video game, and it was just literally released today on PC, and it's coming to the Nintendo Switch on September 15th. But Fight Crab, when you Google search Fight Crab, you're going to be shocked at the reviews for this thing because it has the highest reviews. Like IGN, 9.8 out of 10. This other magazine, 5 out of 5, this or that. So Fight Crab is essentially like Tekken or Mortal Kombat or any of these fight type games, except for you pick your crustacean of choice and you go to battle. And it caught my eye because it's so weird. As this one magazine said, it's a bizarre, joyous experiment in crustacean combat. And I watched a trailer for it. It looks pretty hilarious. I think that I might have to invest in this for Kid Danger.
Does it look more realistic, like Mortal Kombat or
cartoon? No, it looks very cartoon. In fact, it looks like old school like GameCube graphics. If this game costs more than $10, it's not worth it because it looks like that kind of game. But I guess the gameplay kind of like, do you remember the Untitled Goose Game, which is really silly? I feel like it's going to build that kind of cult popularity. And so you heard it here first, folks. Fight Crab. It's going to be the next Untitled Goose Game.
I hope they have a mantis shrimp.
Yeah, I wonder. Let's see. I like how everybody went with the same joke. I clicked on Screen Rant randomly to see what they said about Fight Crab, and their first thing is breaking the first rule of Fight Crab. So we've all made the exact same joke. So they're basically giant. From the video I saw, they're like humongous crabs, like cars drive by and they're 5 times bigger than the cars.
Well, they're like Rampage.
Yeah, it's like Rampage. It looks like you can build up. You can choose. Yeah. So you have a whole different slew of crabs, lobsters you can choose from.
Mantis shrimp?
I don't know. It doesn't say
Oh.
specifically mantis shrimp, but you can add power-ups and different things like different weapons to your fight crab, so you
Okay.
can be that much better. Yeah, I don't know. It says there's a single player and multiplayer levels, different online varieties. I don't know. I'm telling you, fight crab's where it's at. So you heard it here first.
I should go since you said it's on PC. I should go see how much it is.
Yeah, I mean it came out
Probably
today.
go to
So
Steam or something.
yeah, I think in fact I think it's is on Steam. Yeah, like if it's more than $10, it's not worth it because it doesn't look that good. But if they took like that thing where it looks like he's carrying around the knives. Remember that video that's been on Twitter with the crab with the knife?
Yeah.
You can totally like fight with the knife and everything. Have like a fight crab knife fight.
Because if you go look up like a mantis shrimp on YouTube, man, those guys are freaking awesome, dude. They have like these catapult arms, go like a mantis, you know? They go, pop, and it cracks like crabs and shit. It's pretty funny.
Well, you'll have to tell us later on if you do get it, if it does have the mantis shrimp, because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I had. Those are all my new jacuzzi stories. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about, I think we can wrap up.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
Wrap
Another
it up.
week.
All right. One more week down. I will talk to everybody after my camping trip, and we will see everybody on the flippity flip. Bye.
Show me what you got.